What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A Hangout. I'm a little late. I was doing outside chores for my boss, aka my wife. I might be self-employed, but I will always have a boss, and that is totally fine with me. With all that being said, I'm just going to cut to the chase. Is Patrick Mahomes actually serious in his preparation, in his training, in his work ethic, in how he prepares his body, his mind for the NFL season? Yes. What the are we even talking about? Are you freaking kidding me? What kind of a joke is this? As a starter since 2018, how many playoff wins? How many Super Bowl appearances? How many Super Bowl wins? How many MVPs? What is it going to take? He just made it to 3 Super Bowls in a row, won 2. We're questioning Patrick Mahomes' work ethic, his training, because of a 4th of July photo. You washed up, no good phony. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm not saying his name either. This isn't a video. This isn't pre-recorded. This isn't prep. This is off the cuff, how I feel. If you don't know what happened this week, a KC radio host once again said Mahomes is fat, doesn't work, doesn't train, doesn't take it serious like Brady did. What are we doing? I'm not saying his name. I'm not doing it. Because he wants clicks and views. And we've talked about it enough. We talked about it in yesterday's video. We talked about it in a short today. But what are we doing? Why do we tear down the people that have done the most for the city? Talking about from a sports standpoint. There's police officers, military firefighters. There's a lot of people that have done stuff for the city, but I'm talking about from a sports standpoint that has brought a lot of success to a franchise since being drafted, has done everything he's been asked of him. Has he been perfect every single game? No. Who is? We're all human. We're all people. These are pro athletes. You're never going to be perfect. But what are we doing? Yes, Mahomes takes his craft seriously. Yes, Mahomes is probably pissed off and wants to have a great season. Who cares? The critique is he doesn't have six-pack abs. Okay. Six-pack abs automatically equates to Super Bowl wins? No, that's not how it works. You think Brady, Rodgers, Manning, those guys had walked around with six-pack abs? No, that doesn't matter. Who cares? It's irrelevant. What matters is here and here. Can you throw the football and can you think? Can you read defenses? Can you go through your read progression? What are we doing? Absolutely insane. It's peak off season. Training camp starts in a few weeks. That's how things are going right now. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're doing. Absolutely ridiculous, man. I couldn't imagine. I'll just be honest for a second here. I could not imagine building this platform, working as hard as I have, to then on the people that helped me build this platform by talking about them. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the team that has been so successful I've been talking about. That's not saying I won't ever critique them or say, oh, that wasn't a good game or whatever. They could have done this better. It's just not taking it to the level of personal attacks and disrespect. You need to do a sit-up. You're fat. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? Are we in middle school or are we grown adults in 2025? What is it? Absolutely pathetic. I will be done, but I just wanted to get that off my chest because this guy that is saying this about Mahomes has been in the city, has helped build a pretty prominent radio station in the Kansas City area. And he's talking like that, talking reckless. It's just sad because when somebody brings you that much success, not just you, but just the city as a whole, all the 50 years with no Super Bowl. 50. And then we have 3. We've been to 5. 3 rings, been to 5 since 2018. Really since 2019 would be the first Super Bowl that Mahomes appeared. But that's what you want to do? That's the path you want to take? And then you say it's all because I care. You don't care. You care about clicks. You're a piece of garbage. Anyway, how's everybody doing? I just wanted to, I titled it, I thumbnailed it. I wanted to speak a little bit more freely than just how I talked in the video yesterday, because I tried to go completely above board yesterday, and even today, like I'm not going super insane. I'm not personally attacking this guy, his family, his looks. I'm not doing any of that. We're grown adults. We don't do that. I mean, unless you're a troll burner account on Twitter, then you do that. Ocean Girl, thank you so much for the membership. FLDB with the 33 months, fueled by revenge. The Chiefs go 17-0 in 2026. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if the Chiefs went undefeated after this? It's probably not going to happen, let's be honest here, but I would love it so much. Everybody would melt down. It would be absolutely unreal, ridiculous. Mahomes breaks every passing record. Kelsey launches a tequila brand with Andy Reid, and they beat the Eagles, 55-0 in the Super Bowl rematch. No, the Chiefs don't like to do the blowout stuff. They like to win close games and make us sweat. Like I have been in the yard doing yard work before this live stream. They like to make you sweat and stress you out. Jay Kelsey, thanks so much for the 24 months. Brand with the 33 months. Not a bad story, FLDB, but I'll go with Kelsey and Coach Reid starting a cheeseburger business and becoming the best cheeseburger place east of Texas. Happy 33 months to both of us. 33 months is insane. That's almost 3 years. I had to think about it because I was like, that can't be right. 12, 24, 36. It's almost 3 years. Unreal. Jennifer, thanks so much for the 10 bomb. Hope you and your mom are doing well, or at least recovering, getting better. Brenda with the 34 months. Let's freaking go, Cole. Love the rants. Brenda just recently upgraded to the Redbeard tier. Thank you so much. And then Song with the 5 gifted. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. How's everybody? We got Nate G in the house. What's up, Nate G? Oh, you're talking about the refs? Oh, yeah. You don't watch football. You don't watch football, brother. Scorched Earth Tour. I like that a lot. Hey, Cole, have you heard the... I don't know what that is. No, sir. I don't even know how to say that. I have not heard about that news. You ask, he looks the best he has. He's going to kill it this year. Watch out, NFL. Yeah, what I talked about in yesterday's video. What does six-pack abs get you in football? I don't know. For a quarterback, what does that actually get you? I'm not really sure. You don't need that. You need an arm, you need IQ, and you need to be able to scramble and be just fast enough. Well, guess what? Patrick Mahomes is all of that. You need an arm. What else do you need? Sometimes that little extra bit, just a little bit, it can help absorb some contact. It's not a bad deal. It's okay. Countess with the 21 months. What's up? Yo, Cole. Happy soon to be new preseason here in a month or two. Yeah, I mean, the first preseason game is at the end of the month. I think that's the Hall of Fame game. Is that what they call it? I'm second guessing myself. Pro Football Hall of Fame game. It's in July. It's at the end of July. Detroit Lions and Chargers will play the 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, Thursday, July 31st. End of this month, preseason starts. I mean, we'll definitely take it. Man, some of the Patrick stuff lately, right? Yeah, it's just peak offseason. People are bored. People are trying to come up with stuff for clicks and views. It's one thing to me. I think what grinds my gears so much and why I talked about it, maybe there are some of you guys in the comments like, don't give this guy anything. Don't give him attention. I didn't say his name. But the thing is, if you're a local guy, why are you doing that? I understand if you're national media for clicks and views because you work for ESPN and you're a little puppet. They pull your strings. They give you talking points before the show and say you have to adhere to these talking points. Even if you don't agree with this argument, you have to stand by it and present it for clicks and views and rage bait. That's one thing. Or you're somebody else in a different state entirely and you're not a Chiefs fan. if you're a local radio host and a Chiefs fan, just to be disrespectful and borderline like personally attacking somebody, QB1 of the team, that's garbage. That's some garbage. I don't rock with it. Don't care. I would tell him that to his face in person. Don't care how long you've been in the business. Don't care how long you've been in the industry. It's not how you do it. And it just sucks. Antonio with the 5. Hey, Cole, hope you and the fam are having a safe 4th. Yeah, we had a really safe 4th. We didn't shoot much fireworks, but we heard them. When are we going to see the HBTC/Made Mob collab? Hey, maybe one day. Oh, yeah, shout out Made Mob. Yeah, we got the shirt on. Yeah, Made Mob's awesome. I have bought a bunch of their shirts. A lot of the shirts you see me wearing recently are Made Mob. It's the skull, the Royal Skull shirt, the Chief Skull shirt, this one, the Dynasty shirt. There's a couple more that I have. They're all Made Mob. Heck yeah, man. I not only love what they're doing, but I love what they're doing for the city, the community. They're empowering entrepreneurs in the area as well. And as a fellow entrepreneur, I love that. There's plenty of room for people in Kansas City to grow, to eat, and to thrive. And so I'm always rooting for that. Barbara, thanks so much for the 10 bomb. Let's go. Thank you so much. Lil Cam with the 4 months. If you ever get back into making music, be sure to collab with Mac Lethal. He's a legend. Reps us Missourians great. Cheers from Mizzou. Central Missouri and Mizzou. Yeah, Mac Lethal, he recently moved back to the Kansas City area. We text back and forth every now and again. He's a huge Chiefs fan. It's crazy the first time he kind of reached out to me just to say it was just a couple years ago to say he really likes my YouTube vids. And I was like, no way. Mac Lethal, the guy I grew up watching on YouTube, the pancake rap. I've seen that 50,000 times. So heck yeah, man. If we ever do another song, if I ever get back, it's been 5-6 years since I made any music, but he would be on the bucket list for sure. Rob with the 2 bomb. Cole, the motto for this season is FEA. Come on. Let's go, man. Here's the reality. The Chiefs won a Super Bowl, got back to their 3rd, and they got bullied. So you come back, you hit the offseason, you train hard, you grind, you just go in and attack it day at a time, week at a time, and you try to get back to the playoffs and climb back to the top of the summit. And that's what Kelsey wants to do. That's what Mahomes wants to do. They don't care about the offseason talk. They don't care about it. Mahomes said, I've heard everything. I'm done with that. I just want to play football. Kelsey said nothing else matters to him in his entire NFL career other than stacking rings. Doesn't care about regular season accomplishments. Doesn't care about postseason milestones other than getting back to a Super Bowl, winning a ring. It's very popular. It's very in to hate the Chiefs, discredit the Chiefs. We have Nate in the chat right now blaming the refs. I mean, it's literally the most low IQ thing you could ever do is blame the refs. It's so boring. Makes me want to freaking take a nap right now. Yawn. Instead of actually objectively watching the game, looking at the snaps, watching the film, dissecting game plans, looking at what the opposing team could have done better, this or that. It's the refs. And then on the flip side, if I make a video talking about the worst calls that have gone against the Chiefs in NFL history, what's the top comments on there? It's not just one play. Oh, really? Really? Huh. Interesting. You should look in the mirror and say it back to yourself, you freaking hypocrites. Yeah, not every play goes the way that your team is. It's not always going to go your team's way. It's not always going to go the Chiefs' opponent's way. But the best teams in football overcome inconsistent officiating. I say that every single week. If you're good, you overcome the inconsistency of the officials. And guess what? I said that even during the Super Bowl loss because I saw some Chiefs fans blaming the officials for why the Chiefs lost. What? No. The officials had, what are we talking about? It was like 36-0. I don't know, 32-0, 40-6 at one point or something like that. And I still had people in the comments of that video. Oh, you're saying that the Chiefs couldn't overcome the consistency of the refs. That's why they lost. Do you listen with your ears? Did you go to school? Do they teach you how to listen? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. If it's 40-6, it's not because of the refs. Is there a bad play here or there? Sure. But guess what? You're not going to hear me cry about the refs. I don't care if it was a close game. Eagles fans still crying about Super Bowl 57, the Bradbury hold, after the game. Said it was a hold. What are we doing? I feel a little feisty today, but it just is what it is. When you have all the stuff going on this week, and then you just deal with it every single week in the media. It's just popular to hate on the Chiefs. They're in the dynasty. They're the active dynasty. I get it. It's still wild sometimes, the stuff that you hear. Dan, thank you so much for the 10 months, bro. Let's go. Darrell with the 5. Pat's never had six-pack abs. Just ask him. He's got a quarterback's body. Yeah, six-pack abs don't matter. I really feel like the only guy I can think of, and I don't go and look up their shirtless pics, so I don't know for sure. I feel like maybe Jalen Hurts would have a six-pack, and he's the only one in a while that's won a Super Bowl. So it's just like, it doesn't matter. Peyton Manning, Brady, Rodgers. Think about a lot of successful quarterbacks. They don't walk around with six-packs. They walk around with cannons of an arm and an IQ to be able to read defenses. That's all you got to do. And when I say that's all you got to do, there's a lot to that. But it doesn't matter about the core to an extent. It doesn't matter about that. You mentioned Mahomes' ability to read defense. Totally agree. He's the best at it, but sometimes he overreads it. Oh, for sure, Jenny. And Patrick Mahomes would tell you that himself. Matt Nagy said it in a recent presser. He knows so much about the game now. Sometimes he will overthink it. And what happens with that is Mahomes sees a coverage pre-snap and he thinks that means the defense is going to be perfect in that coverage that they present. But Mahomes said, hey, sometimes I just need to say, nah, I'm going to give my guy a chance anyway and take a shot down the field or take a shot at this read or that read that I think is going to be perfectly covered. The right defensive coverage can be called. Mahomes can analyze that pre-snap, do his best to audible out of it or call some hot routes on his left or right or whatever. But even if the defense is perfectly called, it doesn't mean it's going to be perfectly covered. You're dealing with flawed human beings. They are pros. More times than not, it will be covered. But sure, Mahomes himself would say, hey, sometimes I overthink that, where earlier on in his NFL career, he said, I'm literally still learning how to read defenses. If I would think something's going to happen. I'd snap the ball. Something else went different. I didn't like it. And I would just scramble around until somebody got open. Now he can read defenses really well. And sometimes I don't think we will ever know unless you're even if you're a huge film nerd, you study ball, you played a lot of ball, and you can look at it and dissect it. It's still your best guess as to the coverage that the defense called or the play that the offense called, because a lot of these receivers, you have options in your route running based on coverage presented, and it's not always perfect. So you can study the film and be like, oh, it was supposed to be this, but sometimes you will never know 100%. So yeah, we can analyze it. We won't always know. And what I'm getting at is we won't always know how much Mahomes actually adjusts and fixes things pre-snap. I just can't wait for him to have a little bit better of an offensive line, and I hope that that's this year. You went and you got Jalen Moore. You drafted Josh Simmons in round 1. Hopefully Kingsley pans out at left guard. Creed, you've already got him at center. He's number 93 on the top 100 list when Tua is at 91. The top 100 list is whatever to me because it's super biased. NFL players have huge biases based on who their teammates are, what team they play for, what division, what conference, all of that. You then have Trey Smith, who hopefully any day now we see an announcement that he gets a long-term deal done. He has until July 15th. And it's TikTok. Not talking about the social media app. It's tickety-tock. We got a week left. Let's get a long-term deal done. Please. I don't love the idea, and I'm just a fan, so I could be wrong here, but I don't love the idea of Joe Thuney gone and Trey Smith gone in the span of a calendar year, 2 off seasons, but I don't love that idea, especially if Josh Simmons pans out and you've got a left tackle on a rookie deal. If Kingsley even somewhat can be a manageable, serviceable left guard, you can invest in some of these linemen. because you can also move on from Jawan Taylor next year. So in a perfect world, you can get a long-term deal done with Trey Smith. But I've seen some other comments on my videos that are saying, hey, I'm not team, or I'm not pro pay Trey Smith, because their belief is you can more easily find a replacement level guard than you can a replacement level tackle. So if you're going to pay top of the market money to somebody, pay that to a tackle. I get it to some extent, but I just like to look at the roster from a whole, from what you're paying some of these guys. If it's Kelsey's last year this year, that's $20 million of a cap hit. You can move on from Jawan Taylor next year and save $20 million or so. I don't know the exact math right now, but there are some things you can do to free up space to absorb some of that. Haters gonna hate. Let's go, Arrowred. How are you, man? Unfortunately, idiots like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith have created this environment while journalists just say crazy stuff for clicks. Best to ignore. Attention fuels them. And those guys do it most of the time. The stuff that they say, it's like at least semi-believable. And it doesn't, again, I'm saying for the most part, there are exceptions, but it's not normally personal attacks and below the belt. They still keep it professional. But it's just the local stuff when you go personal is wild to me. Sheesh. I can't believe people are still on about how the Chiefs are not good. Mahomes is a fraud. That stuff doesn't hold much weight to me because it's like, come on, man. If Mahomes retires right now, he's top 5 all time. What are we doing? If you want to say, oh, I think based on how things are looking, that the future is not as bright for the Chiefs as the last 5 years of their past. I mean, okay, if you want to try to argue that out. But even that doesn't, to me, hold a lot of weight, because what are you basing that on? What are you actually basing that on? The fact that they made it to 3 Super Bowls in a row and lost on their third one? Because they had no... I mean, they got bullied in the trenches, yes, for sure. And part of that was because they had no left tackle. Joe Tooney was trying to play left tackle. He's not a tackle. Caliendo's not really the guy you want to be your starting level left guard. You don't have Rice. Hollywood came back, wasn't really right. Pacheco came back, wasn't really right. Minihue came back from the ACL, wasn't really right. Jalen Watson came back from the ankle, wasn't really right. I mean, what are we doing? They're all coming back and they're healthy. And no, you don't have any major pieces missing. Chris Jones didn't retire. Andy Reid didn't retire. Travis Kelce didn't retire. Patrick Mahomes didn't retire. Spags didn't retire. What are we doing? So what are you basing that on is my question every time I hear that. Other than clicks from the higher-ups. Or clicks for views and then talking points from the higher-ups. What are we basing that on? Because you're not basing it in any factual reality. I could see if 3 years from now you have no Kelce, and then in the same year Andy Reid and Chris Jones both walk away or something. And then it's like, oh, well, we have a lot of questions about the Chiefs this next season. Yeah, they still got Mahomes. They got pieces, but it's a new head coach. The centerpiece of their defense is gone. Kelsey's gone. They're all still here. What are we doing? That's my question. The stress of trying to win every game as well. True. Mahomes kind of said it in his interview with Kay Adams. If you haven't seen that, you should. He said it in his interview with Kay Adams. They didn't have as much fun last year. I would think, honestly, part of that is just the injuries and trying to do all that you can to grind out these stressful wins. But whether or not they talked about it in the building, the three-peat thing, it still weighed on them. And I don't know sometimes how fun the game was. And to some extent, who cares, right? They're making millions of dollars. They need to go out there and do their thing. And they did, though. They won 15 games. They made it back to the Super Bowl. They didn't win that one, of course. But if you could get back to not having that pressure of, oh, we got to win every single game because we're going for a three-peat, we're the dynasty. Nah, just go out there and relax a little bit. Let loose. Have some fun. It is a game at the end of the day. Stack up wins. Yes. Mahomes said they're going to stay true to who they are. They're going to stick to the game plan. They're going to train hard. But he wants to have a little bit more fun with the guys this year. Duchess with the 10 bomb. Skip became famous because he called Troy Aikman as personal. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, most of the time, those guys, they'll keep it classy. Have they gone out of pocket? Yeah, for sure. Stephen A. Smith last year called somebody a female dog. I'm trying to remember who it was. Just literally called him on the air. These guys are not perfect. I'm not really defending Skip because there's a lot of craziness said. But Skip's not a local radio. Well, I mean, he was local to the Cowboys, so okay, touche. But again, that's what just grinds my gears is when that happens. And nobody's perfect. I'm not going to sit here and defend Skip. And I also am not going to sit here and pretend like I know his entire history of him coming up through the ranks because that guy's been doing stuff since I was maybe not even born in the industry. So I won't claim to have the full history there by any means. Oscar with the 2. Keatsman is it's on site list. Yeah, I mean, here's the reality. He's probably a nice guy. He's just some 60-year-old dude walking around, trying to live his life. I just don't respect how he went about that. And he's done that years in a row now. When does the deal with Trey have to get done by, said Darrell with the 2 bomb. July 15th. So it's the 8th now. I'm looking up my calendar. He literally has exactly 7 days. A deal. Let me look it up. Franchise tag long-term deal deadline. You have until 4 p.m. Eastern on July 15th. That's the window where you can get a long-term deal done by. If you don't, he plays the year on the franchise tag. So you got a week. A little under 7 days, technically, short by 4 hours or so. How long is a beard going to grow? Asked James. What's up, dude? I kind of trim it. I feel like it stayed about this long for years. I kind of just maintain it here and just try to keep it as clean as I can. My wife's like, as long as if you grow a beard, just keep it clean. So I try. When you have a beard that's longer, it is kind of hard. There's always like strays and flyaways you're trying to work at. But about this long. 3 p.m. real time. I like to say 3 p.m. Arrowhead time. What is the amount for Trey's tag? It's like $23.4 million this year. And that's another thing. If you can get a franchise tag done with Trey Smith, a long-term deal done with Trey Smith and rip up the franchise tag, that's going to free up cap space to maybe get a long-term deal done with Trent McDuffie. That would be priority number 1 for me after that. George Karlaftis, anybody that's past 3 years on their rookie deal, you can start negotiating. So anybody that's on a contract year, Jalen Watson, Sky Moore, I don't think they're going to do that. Pacheco, Brian Cook, any of those guys that's from the 2022 draft class, that's including Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, you can get a long-term deal done with them. You've been able to do that since January. The Chiefs like to do it later. Think about last year. They extended Creed Humphrey, Noah Gray, Harrison Butker, and that might have been it, all right before the season. I would be looking for the Chiefs to potentially, if you can get a long-term deal done with Trey Smith, it takes his cap hit down from $23.4 million this year to hopefully at least in half. The Chiefs have roughly $10-11 million in cap space right now. You can get closer to that $20 million mark, get a long-term deal done with at least Trent McDuffie. I would love that. Will they do that? I don't know. I see the comments. Cole, Chiefs don't extend defensive backs that they draft. They don't do it. Yeah, you're right. They haven't done it since Eric Berry. But I think Trent McDuffie is probably your exception. That's your blue chip guy that you at least partially used the picks from the Tyreek Hill trade to trade up and go and get him. They couldn't believe he was still available, and he's been worth everything so far. Derek D with the 5 gifted as well. Let's go, man. Thank you. Mike Florio's a nice guy too. Oh, yeah. I don't mind Florio sometimes, but he just gets a little ridiculous with stuff. Yeah, Josh Williams is another one. FooTube. I was just trying to think anybody. I was like, there's somebody I'm missing. Nazeeh Johnson, I think, would probably be another one. His contract's different because they technically, I can't remember what they did. What did they do? They waived him. and then placed him on IR. So the contract looks a little bit different now with him. But anybody from that 2020, yeah, Leo Chanel's another one. That might be most of them. Right, yep. Got to keep Trent. I hope so. Yeah, it's a tender is what it is. They did tender him and he signed it. Please, please, please pay and retain Trey, Trent, and hopefully George. Scares me all the players will probably have to leave after this season, no longer on rookie contracts. The only thing about that is the good news for Trey and Karlaftis. They picked up their fifth-year options. If you draft a player in the first round, you have the ability to pick up their fifth-year option, which means the Chiefs have already done that. So that means George and Trent McDuffie are under contract through the 2025 and 2026 NFL season. So that's the only good news there with Trent and George. They are technically under contract for a couple more years. Just got back from Chicago. I met like 50 people who are Chiefs fans. Let's go. Love that. George will be gone after next year. Trent will get signed long-term. Yeah, I think the only thing for me, if you get a deal done with George and it's not like even close to top of market money, because top of market money for a pass rusher, guys, now is $40 million a year. That's Myles Garrett. That's what TJ Watt wants. Max Crosby's up there with that number. That's too much for George. But if you could figure out a way to get a long-term deal done with him that makes sense based on his production, and it's not only just based on his production, it is to some extent taking into consideration what he's doing with Chris Jones also on the line. Because I think everybody's stats to some extent, yes, would suffer if Chris Jones wasn't in the game. But I'm not on the team or camp. George Karlaftis is massively overrated. Overrated to what? Being a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL? I mean, if you think George Karlaftis is a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL, then yeah, I would say those standards aren't going to be met. It's just not. But he's been top 10 in pressures the last 2 years if you combine regular season and playoffs. He's also made deeper playoff runs than some of these other guys, but he's above average starter. That's pretty good for a first-round draft pick that you pick 30 or 32, whatever it ended up being that year. So, yeah, we'll see about George, but he's around for 2 more years right now. A silly question? I don't know what the question was, but I just saw some people saying George is wildly overrated. I don't understand unless you're saying he's up there with Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Trey Hendrickson. He's not overrated. I think he's just a quality starter, and there's nothing wrong with that. Think about what George Karlaftis has done, no offense, but compared to FAU. That's what you're hoping. You're hoping George Karlaftis is what he is based on where you drafted him. If FAU could have been that, and maybe he will this year, I'm rooting for him. But you're not seeing FAU as a bust every 5 seconds on social media if he has George Karlaftis production. You know what I mean? So that's where it's just like, if you draft somebody at the end of round 1, if they're an above average starter, that's sometimes great, all you can ask for. Rice is playing all the way through the regular season. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know that he's going to get suspended this year because the Texas courts are just so slow. And you have people saying, oh, it's the Chiefs, so the NFL's letting him off right now. No, it's because it's not a DV case or an SA case. And they're a lot of times going to let that legal process play out, and the Texas courts are just insanely backed up. It's not because he plays for the Chiefs. He's going to get suspended. I kind of wish they would just do it and just get it over with so people would quit crying about it. It just gets old. But the thing is, yeah, sure, the Chiefs could do their own thing, or the NFL could do their own thing right now and put the hammer down or say, hey, you definitely violated the personal conduct policy because we have you on camera speeding, wrecking, and fleeing the scene. But they could also just wait it out. And they might very well do that. And the courts are so backed up that, yes, Rice might play this full year and then get suspended next year. A suspension's coming. That's out. That's never been the question. So for the crybabies online, he's gonna get suspended. He is. Do I like Wario? I haven't played Wario in a long time, but I used to play him on the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. Worthy should be a spokesperson for men who suffer from domestic abuse. Could become a huge advocate for that. Yeah, and Worthy went through a crazy situation earlier this offseason as well. We've talked about that a bunch. Arrested. Charges were insane. Or at least the allegations were insane. The potential charges. Well, the charges got dropped within 24 hours and he was released. And basically after that, Worthy and his fiance or ex-fiance, whatever, I think they were both trying to take each other to court. Then they both just dropped it and let it go. Nothing's going to come from that. But that was a crazy situation. Yes. Darrell with the 2-bomb. Did you mail out the merch? Yes, we mailed it out yesterday. I know we were delayed. It's been a crazy few weeks, to say the least. We were helping a family member move. Somebody close to us, and it's been insane. But we did mail out everything yesterday, I believe. The guy who won coffee, though, if he's in here, I never got an email. So what I'm referring to is the members-only live stream from earlier this month. Somebody won coffee, and I never got an email. I'll see if I can find the name and just say it. Merch stock. It is Tom Sloop. He said he wanted ground coffee, but I never got an email for his mailing address. So if you're here, you're around, please shoot me an email. Cole@hbtchiefs.com. Screenshot your YouTube channel. Tell me what kind of coffee you want. We'll get that shipped to you. Pac West with the 20-bomb. Let's freaking go. Heck yeah, man. There was a member stream giveaway this month. No, it was last month, Marcus. That's how behind I am. We just shipped out for the June live stream. They keep doing their internal investigations for 5 years or something. Why bother after that point? He could retire before they suspend him. Are you talking about Rice? Nah, I mean, when was he drafted? 2023. So year 1, was injured most of year 2. This is year 3. I mean, it would be potentially the last year of his rookie deal, I think, right? 2023, 4, 5, 6, which is pretty crazy that he could get suspended for something that happened a couple years prior. Scott, thank you so much for the membership. Oh, dude, helping people move means you love that person. Yeah, as a very close family member, so we did help. But moving is no joke. It's absolutely insane. I forget, didn't the Chiefs draft another wide receiver in April? Yes, 4th round, they drafted Jalen Royals. Outside receiver primarily, bit of a taller guy. He's like 6'1"-ish, 6'2" maybe. I'm trying to remember his exact height. But the fastest 10-yard split of the entire wide receiver class. So definitely excited about him. I don't know what to expect. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. I don't know what to expect from him year 1 because you have Worthy, you have Rice, you have Hollywood, you have Juju. Those are 4 guys already in the rotation. But if Jalen Royals is truly going to be used on the outside, you no longer have Justin Watson. So maybe he could fill that role in a little bit. Mike, let's go, man. Thank you for the gifted. Thank you. You got a Pacheco jersey from All Chiefed Up last year? Ooh, let's go. Heck yeah, man. You want a coffee now? It's a little late for coffee. Nick Bolton. What about Bolton, Joe? What are you asking? Yeah, he's around for a few more years. Do we still have Sky Moore? Yes, he's on the last year of his deal. He's not necessarily safe to make the 53, but he is technically still around. He's on the 90-man roster right now. He's going to have to fight and earn that spot. I don't know how he makes it if the Chiefs roll with 6 receivers. Because Rice, Worthy, Hollywood, Juju, Royals, Nico is your punt returner. Sky's not going to usurp Nico as the punt returner. That is not happening. Eagles game predictions. I'm calling a shootout. Yeah, I think any of those top-tiered teams, Eagles, Bills, I could go down the list and look at some of the other teams. They play the Commanders. I mean, the Broncos won't be easy. The Chargers won't be easy. A lot of those games could very well be close. And if you want to win, it's the same stuff. You have to win the turnover battle. You have to play a clean game. For example, in the Super Bowl, Mahomes threw a pick six and then got strip sacked. Eagles recovered when he was trying to throw a deep ball because the line couldn't hold. They were already down like 24-0 or something at that point. But they turned both of those turnovers into 14 points. You can't do that. Super Bowl 57, Hurts fumbles. Nick Bolton scoops it and scores. That ultimately cost them the game. And there's other plays that happened and they could have turned it around. But when you're playing teams that good, you have to win the turnover battle and you have to play clean. So the Eagles' prediction is way too early, week 2, but I mean, I'm going to rock with the Chiefs winning, but it's not going to be easy. Even Mahomes said, yeah, we got a little bit of a history, and we're going to find out what our team looks like pretty early on in the season because they start out week 1 in Brazil against the Chargers, and then they go take on the Eagles the very next week. Should you go to a divisional game or not this season? Ooh, I mean, those are some good ones for sure. Any of them would be good. Royals. I just saw a Royals tweet. Raiders, Broncos, or Chargers. Yeah, go to a Royals and Chiefs game. That'd be a crazy one. 62-10 Chiefs over Eagles. I mean, sounds good to me, James. I don't know who Milton Williams was until he sacked Mahomes, and he might not have known him until then either. Yeah, I mean, Milton, he had some splashes, but really had a great Super Bowl for sure. Yeah, Adam Rank of NFL Network posted a YouTube video. Yeah, he predicted the Chiefs to go 11-6, the Raiders sweeping the Chiefs. I saw that, and I was like, well, if he has... I'm writing that down to talk about tomorrow. If he has the Chiefs losing to the Raiders twice, my initial thought was, oh, that means he's going to have the Chiefs resting their starters week 18. And they lose one of them. No. That wasn't it. He was saying that it was for the division. The Chiefs lose that game and the Broncos win the West. Okay, dude. If you go to a game, me and Brand can hold down the fort for a game. Oh, okay, heck yeah, FLDB. Do I watch the facility? No, not really. But Chase Daniel's on there, right? Is Acho on there? I know of it. I like rocking the red beard personally because I can't grow one. Hey, we'll be rocking the beard. Denver and Vegas, I predict, can split with KC. With the Chargers, I think the Chiefs can sweep them. I think Justin Herbert is overrated, said Sam. Rob. I don't think that comment will be seen publicly, but I'm not a fan of a lot of the talking head shows these days. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't care for the hot takes. Don't care for that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the AFC West is, the AFC West is going to be one of the best divisions in football. You're going to have to bring your A game. It is not going to be easy at all. Shady speaks highly of Mahomes, and I have a couple edits on him. Yeah, Shady McCoy, he just didn't like EB, but he seems cool in other regards about the Chiefs in some capacity. I love how some media heads picked the Chargers to win the division. They didn't get better. I had some Chargers fans mad at me because I thought Colin Cowherd was a little too high on the Chargers. He said they're going to win the West this year. I think the Broncos did a little bit more than the Chargers. If anybody's going to win it, it would be them. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan. But looking at the game all day, every day for both of my channels, looking at the sport, looking at the moves all these teams made, I feel like the Broncos might be more of the problem. What are you doing, dog? Okay. Casey walked over here, but it's reversed. So I thought she walked over here. She actually walked on this side by her bed, but I didn't realize. I think oh, thanks, James. Said your dog is badass. Yeah, I think the Chiefs still win the West. I'm not saying the Broncos are going to win it, but I'm just saying if it's going to be anybody and I had to put money down on a non-Chiefs team to win the West, I don't feel confident enough to pick the Chargers. I would pick the Broncos probably, but last year the Broncos and the Chargers were neck and neck. Yeah, the Chargers, I think, swept the Broncos. They were both one-score games. It's not like a super hot take to say I think the Broncos could be better than the Chargers this year. Cole, what's your webcam again? Well, it's actually just like a camera. It's a A7S3, a Sony A7S3 with a 16 to 35 2.8 millimeter G Master lens. What's your dog's name? It's Casey. K-A-C-I. Casey. Kind of stands for KC Chiefs. Had to do it. Raiders confused me with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, but it's more short term with them. That's why I think the Raiders are still going to be fourth in the AFC West, but they got better. You got competent coaching. I don't know what Pete Carroll has left. Geno Smith is an upgrade for sure, though, from, no offense to Minshew. He's QB2 on the Chiefs, but he's QB2 for a reason. So he's an upgrade over Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. You're going to be better, but is it going to be better than the Chargers or the Broncos? I just don't think so. Definitely not the Chiefs. Microphone is a Shure SM7B. I don't know what the cost is anymore. Maybe $300, something like that. Dez with the 32 months. Most talk shows, they plan for at least one of them to have a controversial take, especially about KC for views and ratings. 1,000%. That's why I said earlier, you are fed talking points from the higher-ups, and you got to take a side. You sometimes will agree with that side, but you won't always agree with that side. That's just how it goes. It's fine. It gets people talking about it. It makes some money. It obviously works. I talk about it in my videos. It is what it is. Scott with the 10. Let's go, man. Always enjoy your sane and insightful content. Both channels. Thanks for bringing your A game every time. Scott, let's go, man. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. I've really grown on this channel for sure. I used to troll around a lot more and I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to figure it out, work the kinks out. I was growing, had growing pains, didn't always know what the audience wanted. But over time, it's like, no, what they like is they want all the news. They want it filtered, all the BS filtered out and just shoot it straight. That's what people want. They don't want hot takes. They don't want my wild predictions that aren't rooted in reality. If I'm going to give you thoughts, I'll tell you, here's the facts. Here's what we know. Here's me reading between the lines a little bit. And then I try to present both sides. If somebody says you've got a crowd of people saying George Karlaftis is overrated or Isaiah Pacheco is overrated, I'll kind of look at both sides. Well, why are they saying that? What standard are you comparing that person to say they're overrated? And then I present both sides and I'll try to weigh in, but that's what I learned over time that you guys really like. And that's what most people in the world like. They want you to shoot straight with them. Give them the facts. Don't soak it with your highly opinionated self. Sure, give your opinion sometimes, but give them the facts. And then let the people kind of wrestle out their own opinion from the facts. So heck yeah, Scott, I'm glad you enjoy it. That's where I feel like we're at now with this channel, and I'm in a pretty good groove with that. Not always perfect by any means. Always striving to be better. Always striving to improve, work on the edits, say more in less words. Always trying to do that. Same with the second channel, Cole Breaks the Huddle with the NFL news. And even with that channel, we really try our best there, but it's hard sometimes covering 31 other teams. And I want to give as much context as possible, but not too much context. And then sometimes I don't know the lore or all the history of a position group of a team. With the Chiefs, I know it a little bit better. I can kind of just off the cuff a lot of that. But with other teams, I don't know the ins and outs always of the backup defensive tackles of the Minnesota Vikings. I don't, so I have to research that more. But glad you enjoy. Do we play the Raiders? Yeah, we play them twice. If they're in your division, which the Raiders, Chargers, and Broncos are in the AFC West with the Chiefs, you play all those teams twice every single year. Yes, sir. What GPU do you have? Oh, I'm just a Mac guy. So it's all I just have a MacBook Pro. You can see it right here. MacBook Pro. I'm not doing anything super crazy. I have a Mac Mini over there. Probably get a Mac Studio as my next upgrade, but nothing crazy for me, man. Just basic edits on YouTube. If Rashard Smith does good in preseason and training camp, he might be a great fantasy pickup. I would pick him up. It depends on the league. If you're in a dynasty league, I like the idea of picking him up and maybe potentially stashing him on IR or something for the year if you don't think he's going to pan out as a big productive guy this year, because I do think next year, like Pacheco's on the last year of his rookie deal, Elijah Mitchell's on a 1-year deal, Kareem Hunt's on a 1-year deal. Rashard Smith is your only guy that's long-term contract-wise. That doesn't mean he's going to guaranteed be around. He's a 7th-round draft pick. His contract is not super expensive, but his skill set's going to be a lot of fun. And if he doesn't work his way up as like the 3rd down back this year, I think he could be the 3rd down back in the future of the future. Xavier with a 33 months, almost 3 years. Let's go, GOAT. Can't wait for more of this come the season. Yeah, and I know Mahomes will be ready, unlike those dummies. Yeah, man, it's just fun to hate on the Chiefs, but thanks so much for the 33 months. They're going to be ready. Even with all that, you're going to go through some growing pains at the beginning of the year as well. Calling a short, you should link the long-form video you're previewing, just a tip. That's a good idea. Sometimes the short-form content is from the ground up new, so I don't always talk about that. But you're right. Sometimes I could link the longer-form video that I'm talking about. It's a good idea. I've gone back and forth with it because sometimes I've heard, oh, don't link the long-form video. It could hurt views. I don't know if that's true, but I started doing it, and then I took them all out eventually. Cole, how do you make it to 1K subs on YouTube? I'm uploading some high-quality edits recently. Burnout, haven't met your expectations. I think with the YouTube game, and this is just, I won't talk about it too long, but just anything related to social media and content creation, you just have to keep shooting. People give up before a lot of times they're ready to punch through, and so it's not just keep shooting, but it's striving to get better, learn the algorithm, learn what people like, study psychology. When you're doing short form content, you got to learn to reel people in right away, give them as much value as humanly possible, as quickly as possible, and then just keep shooting. Don't give up. A lot of people give up before they even get going. You got to play the long game, 2, 3, 4 years. With Cole Breaks the Huddle, my second YouTube channel, I'm on a 3-year plan before I think in my head that I'm going to actually make money from it. I am making some money from it, but I'm still paying a full-time guy to help me with that channel, and I'm still quote-unquote in the negative. But I see the 2 to 3 year plan of that channel being faithful every single week to give you as best NFL coverage as I can, straight shoot it in a concise 10-ish minute show, 3 or 4 days a week, and just grow the base slowly over time, 2 to 3 years. You got to play the long game. Fun fact said Flip with the 5, Karloftis, McDuffie, and Pop has never had a short season since they've joined the NFL, and their worst NFL career star is losing the Super Bowl. Yeah, that is nuts. All the new guys. That's what, I don't remember who said it this offseason. I don't know if it was Mahomes or who, but they said, yeah, some of these guys have never experienced a playoff loss in their NFL career. That is insane to think about. You're in year 3 and you've never lost in the playoffs. You made it to your 3rd Super Bowl in a row. You're on I don't even remember how many playoff games they won in a row. 8, 9, something. And then you finally lose your first ever playoff game, and it was after winning 2 Super Bowls and you lost in your 3rd. That is insane, Flip. Absolutely insane. Yeah, heck yeah, GOAT. So thanks for the YouTube wisdom. Yeah, man, and I don't know everything about YouTube, but what I will say is I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to grow. I'm always watching tutorials. I'm always studying. I'm always trying to get better. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not a student of the game, what are you? If you're ever above learning, you lost. You failed. You're done. So stay humble. Keep growing. And don't get comfortable. You remember when this channel was a baby? Heck yeah, Dave. It was a toddler. Much smaller channel. Well, was the Netflix quarterback series really that hard up that they went with Kirk Cousins again? I don't understand the Kirk Cousins thing. If you guys didn't know, quarterback season 2 dropped today. You can watch the whole season. I might get off here in a bit when we're done with the stream and fire up Netflix and watch a couple, but Kirk Cousins, back-to-back seasons. It wasn't back-to-back years because it was QB season 1, receiver, QB season 2. I understand the intrigue a little bit because he signed with a new team. But I'm like, dude, he's a nice guy. You couldn't get somebody else? A lot of people probably didn't want to do it. I don't know if Josh Allen, Lamar, I think they asked some other interesting people that would have been fun, but they didn't want to do it. So you got to get somebody that's willing. Are you excited for Happy Gilmore 2? I'm going to say yes and no. My reason for that is the first one is so good. And this is why Adam Sandler didn't do Happy Gilmore 2 for a long time. Because sometimes the original is so good it doesn't need a sequel. So I am afraid that it's not going to live up to the hype of the first one. And maybe it just won't. And I need to accept that before watching. But I'm definitely going to watch it. And I'm definitely excited to see Kelsey in it. I'm a big Adam Sandler fan. Been watching him since forever. Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Big Daddy. There's more. Waterboy was a big one. So, heck yeah. I'll definitely watch it. Mahomes is hated for several reasons. Yeah, when you're at the top, when you're doing all the winning, they'll find any reason and every reason. I mean, Mahomes is picked on and made fun of because of his family, his skin color, anything you could think of, even on the football field or off the football field. They're going to try to find it. People still hold the one time Mahomes lost his cool in a game when Kadarius Toney was flagged for offensive offsides, and it negated the lateral for a touchdown that Kelsey threw Toney, and Mahomes lost his mind. Admittingly didn't handle it the best. Said it himself afterwards. He even texted Josh Allen afterwards and apologized. He didn't handle it the best. He admitted to it, owned up to it, said he would do better, and he has never done anything like that since. People still hold that against him. Still. So, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're going to find something. It is what it is. Grown Up 2 was Adam's first sequel film. That's interesting. I never saw it. Was it good? The NFL lost a moment with that flag as well. That's true. He was technically offsides. But it was like the fourth or fifth time he lined up like that and wasn't flagged prior. So it's just like, geez, bro. Just flag it. Flag it earlier. I think the earlier flag would have fixed it for Toney in that moment. But at the end of the day, they didn't. He should have lined up. He was a little bit in front of the ball. They flagged it. What can you do? Nothing. Can't wait for Happy Gilmore 2. Girlfriend was an extra on the movie. Not sure if I want to see her or Trav more. Okay, totally Travis. Okay. Dude, that's pretty cool that she's an extra in there. I now know what it feels like. If you're the team to lose the Super Bowl, it sucks. Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl 55 was pretty bad. Losing to the Bucs, losing to Tom Brady like that. Even, I mean, there's just so many playoff games throughout the years for the Chiefs. That 2016 Steelers game, I think it was 2016. I was at the playoff game where the Chiefs lost to Marcus Mariota in the playoffs, where he threw his own touchdown pass. I was in the stands. I was at the game where the Chiefs lost to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game in overtime. I wasn't at this game, but I watched the Colts game where they were up 27, 28 points, and Andrew Luck came back and beat them by 1. I mean, geez, there's been some heartbreaking playoff games, but there's probably nothing more sad. I don't know if sad's the word, but just being, like, think about being a Bills fan for a second here. They made it to 4 Super Bowls in a row and didn't win any of them. Getting all the way to the mountaintop and then losing is really tough. I'm still proud of the Chiefs. They've been to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years, won 3. It's been freaking awesome, but the Super Bowl loss, they're never fun, and they've been pretty bad ones. Super Bowl 55 and 59 were both bad. We need a sequel to the big... I've never seen that one. I haven't seen that one. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Yeah, never forget the Mariota self-catch. I won't. Trust me. Not even a Bills fan nor a Chiefs hater, but Josh Allen needs to get it done in January. Yeah, man, I think a lot of the NFL, any fan base, unless maybe you're in their division or something, Would probably love for Josh Allen to get a ring. It reminds me of Patrick Mahomes much earlier on in his career. Do you guys remember when the people rooted for the Chiefs? They wanted the Chiefs to beat the Patriots in the 2018 AFC Championship game. They wanted the Chiefs to win Super Bowl 54 against the Niners. They were Chiefs fans for that night. That's crazy. So I feel like people view Allen, even maybe Lamar, like just anybody that is really good and hasn't won a ring, they're going to cheer for them, especially if it's against somebody to get to the Super Bowl that's been a lot. If it's, let's just say it, let's say if it's Bills, Eagles in the Super Bowl next year, they're not rooting for the Eagles. I'm sorry, they're not doing it. The Eagles have been there, that would be their third time in whatever years, 4 years. They've just won the year prior. They're not doing it. They're not rooting for the Eagles. They want to see somebody new. They want to see the underdog. They want to see somebody that hasn't gotten a ring get one. That's why no matter who the Chiefs play in the playoffs this year, and if they make it back to the Super Bowl, pretty much no matter who it is, they're going to be rooting against the Chiefs. They are sick of them winning. They are done with it. Absolutely done with it. With all that being said, I got a lot of respect for Josh Allen. I got a lot of respect for really any great quarterback in the NFL. That's Lamar, Burrow, but I don't want to see them get a ring. I want Mahomes to get like 5 more. Obviously, that's not reality. If they get past the Chiefs in the playoffs, I don't know that I would root for any AFC team in the Super Bowl, but I would tip my cap. I would say, well done. Give them their flowers. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl, and it's hard to win it, and it's definitely hard to get back. Think of how many quarterbacks in the NFL, like Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP, has 1 Super Bowl win. That's a lot more than a lot of people. It's hard to get there. Dan Marino, one of the best quarterbacks ever, never got one. It's crazy. Very hard. The Chiefs have traditionally been a team General fans can get behind. They've been considered the good guys. We kept getting so close, not making it. Now we're doing it like no one else. It's completely flipped. 30 fan bases rooted for the Eagles because I hate the Chiefs. 1,000%. 1,000%. Don't make me get the wizard emoji out again. Witchy, what's up? How are you? Marino never went back. Did not. And there's a lot of quarterbacks who have been to one and they never got back. Stacy said didn't ask. I don't know what happened. Sucks going to school after that because you have to try to laugh it off. I was numb for like 3 days. You could still tip your cap to the Chiefs and what they've done. But, dude, that was rough for sure. Silly people spamming the same comment over and over. Oh, okay. How many does Big Ben have? Doesn't, I think Ben has 2, right? Does he have 1 or 2? I think he has 2. He's got 2, 06 and 09. 06 and 09. He's got a couple. I mean, if we just look up quarterbacks with most Super Bowl rings. Let me do this. Can I zoom in? You guys see this? I mean, Brady with 7 is ridiculous. 10 Super Bowls. Holy. Joe Montana, 4 for 4. Terry Bradshaw, 4 for 4. Mahomes is 3 for 5. Mahomes is tied for second in the most Super Bowl appearances ever with John Elway. And he won 1 more than Elway. And Elway had a great career. That's what I'm saying. If Mahomes retired today, it's crazy. He's top 5 all time. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that have had more than 2 Super Bowls. You could see every quarterback who's won more than 2 Super Bowls right here. It's not many. Crazy, man. Crazy. We've had those QBs. Trent Green had some killer seasons with the Chiefs. He deserves a ring. That team with Montana should have at least made it to the Super Bowl if you stay one more year, maybe. Yeah, they made it to the conference championship in the early 90s. I was a kid. Was that like 94? Cole Mahomes is good, but Brady is on a different level because even a Super Bowl loss, I don't think he would have been down 34-0. Sure, I guess, because he never did in the Super Bowl, but he had been blown out in wild card games. He's lost pretty bad in the divisional round, and Mahomes' floor right now is AFC Championship overtime. Everybody any great has had bad playoff losses. So my thing is, it's like, okay, we're going to say, oh, Mahomes got blown out in the Super Bowl, but he made it there. A blowout is a blowout, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to give another quarterback grace because they got blown out in the wild card round instead of the Super Bowl. No, that's even worse. That's even worse. Now, that being said, what Brady was able to do after the age of 37, win 3 more rings, I think it was 3 or 4 more. That's insane. And that's probably the biggest question with Mahomes is how's he going to be for the next 10 years? You going to be able to get back multiple times? I don't know. It's hard to get there. Hard to do. Very hard. Let's see. We got Falcon with the 15 months. Since everyone loves hot takes, Mahomes, Reed are going to do everything in their power to get Kelsey that touchdown lateral to Tony back, take it to the bank. To Tony? They're going to re-sign him? They're going to re-sign Tony to the practice squad, elevate him for a game. Oh, man. Do you think it's going to be for Tony or just for somebody? They're going to get a lateral touchdown back like that. What do you think, Falcon? Scott with the 5-bomb. And he had the 10 earlier, too. Thank you. Been a Chiefs fan since 1977, 3rd grade. I'll take last year over the 70s, 80s, 90s, 1000s, and 10s. All of them. That's what I'm saying. It's the prime time, heyday, greatest time ever to be a Chiefs fan. And I think that's why sometimes anybody that's been a Chiefs fan for 20 plus years, there's frustrations there, and you could see the age gap with the younger members of Chiefs Kingdom. Because some of the younger members of Chiefs Kingdom have known is making it to the playoffs and Super Bowl wins or just winning teams since Andy Reid came to town. So that's why if it's nitpicking Brett Veach, Andy Reid, anything that they could think of to just rag on him, that's where somebody who's been a Chiefs fan for 20, 30, 40 years are like, hey, let's just relax a little bit because we have it really good right now. Is Andy Reid perfect? No. Is some of the stuff that they want to nitpick always ideal? No. But they've still been to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years and made it to 3 in a row. I mean, it's still been an absolutely incredible ride, incredible journey, and you have to appreciate it. Now, that doesn't mean Andy Reid, Veach, even Mahomes, Kelsey, none of those guys are above reproach. There's misses. There's bad play calls. There's bad decisions made on the field, read progression stuff. Like, yeah, there's always blame to go around, but nobody's won more games than the Chiefs since 2018. Nobody. It's not even close. The Bills are the second, and it's still not close. So we are definitely in the best era of Chiefs Kingdom. It's not close. We attended the playoff loss to the Colts. Pain was real. The 28-point loss, or which one? Because the Chiefs have lost multiple playoff games to the Colts. Brady also used his ex-wife for money so he could take less. Well, yeah, I mean, personal stuff is personal stuff. His wife had a very successful and lucrative career, for sure. My buddy was in a car accident yesterday and is in the ICU, flipped and had fence post break windshield, hit him in his face? Holy smokes, man. That's bad. I hope he's all right. Hope he makes a full recovery. Prayers appreciated. Heck yeah. Man, car crashes can be so brutal. You've been a fan since 5th grade. You're going into 8th. Let's go. Let's go, KC fan. OKC fan. I don't want to live beyond the Mahomes era. I won't be able to handle it. I think that's why I just tell people, please enjoy it now. Because one day, Mahomes will be done. And it'll come sooner than we think. It might be 7 years, maybe hopefully longer, but it'll go by in a blink. My daughter's almost 9. I feel like we had her yesterday. So in another 9 years, when she's about to move out, that's when Mahomes is going to roughly be done. It's just going to fly. We're going to be like, man, do you remember when the Chiefs won like almost every single game? Do you remember when Andy Reid was the coach? So we got to enjoy it now. Because we are living in the prime time. Marcus with the 5. Hope your knees are doing well. Thanks for the live streams. Heck yeah, man. Thanks for the $5 Cash App, Marcus. Yeah, knees are doing okay, brother. Knees are doing okay. Trying to get better every single day. Remember telling my son I just want a Super Bowl before I die. Since team hadn't been since Super Bowl 4 when I was 3. They overachieved. Heck yeah, Dave. That's why I've only cried in one game from a Chiefs win or loss. And it was Super Bowl 54. I didn't like weep, but I shed a couple thug tears, bro. I had never seen the Chiefs win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. It was insane. I'll never forget it. Became a Chiefs fan when I was 2018 in 4th grade. Now I'm in 11th. Oh, let's go. Let's go, Arrowhead. Bro, 11th grade, you're almost, you're close. You're getting close to a senior. Let's go, man. So if the Chiefs meet the Bills in the AFC Championship and win, does Josh fall in the same disappointment as Jim Kelly for losing 4 Super Bowls in a row? I don't know about that one, James, because the Bills making it to 4 in a row and losing is insane. But if Josh Allen within the next year or two still can't get past the Chiefs, it's really going to be unfortunate for him because he's one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. But you are defined a lot of times by what you can do in the playoffs. And he's 0-4 against the Chiefs in the playoffs. So that has been a big pain point. I do think one day the Bills are going to get by the Chiefs in the playoffs. It's just going to happen. They're always close games. It'll happen one day, but I hope it's not this year or the next year. I want to keep soaking that up right now. Your reaction to Broncos game was hilarious. When they blocked that field goal, I lost it. Couldn't believe it. What a game. George Karlaftis isn't overrated. I don't think he is. I think he's a quality starter. And if he has Chris Jones and another guy, like a Minihue, that's where he does his biggest damage. Because it's not just, just pay attention to Chris Jones, double him, and then all you then have to do is watch for George Karlaftis. No, if it's, oh gosh, we got Chris Jones, we got GK, we got a Minihue. Maybe FAU has some flashes. You got Gelati you could work in. You got Dana. Yeah, that is definitely going to help Karlaftis' case. Play the clip. I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I just have. Do I have it somewhere? I don't know if I have the Broncos game just like readily available here. But man, that was a crazy game. I got this one. Where'd it go? Oh. That's such an insane clip. Oh, I really hope FAU takes the step this year. Me too, Travis. I'm rooting for him. He's a local guy. I want to see him do well. Jones, I feel like we might lose soon. I don't know. He might price himself out of KC. Who are you talking about? You talking about Karlaftis? You went straight to Perna's channel after the blocked field goal? Heck yeah. He lost it. He was not okay. Just glad I found a person who interacts with this chat because 99% of people just ignore. Please don't put me on timeout again. I don't know why you're putting timeout. It could have been for spamming or something, but just you're chilling, man. Thanks for being in here. Heck yeah. Why does the media think Aaron will be great but continually downplays Mahomes and the Chiefs? For this year? I don't know. The only thing I've really seen with Aaron Rodgers is they would take Rodgers in his prime over Mahomes. I don't care. Who cares? I mean, Rodgers in his prime was crazy. But at the end of the day, if you're going team by team, roster by roster, and playoff success by playoff success, I'm going with Mahomes. 3 rings or 1? What do you want? Kelsey said all he cares about is chasing Super Bowl rings. That's it. That's what most players would say. Anybody who's never won a ring, they say, I wish I would have won 1. Anybody who won 1, they say, I wish I would have won 2. Sure, at the end of the day, you want as much money as you possibly can in the NFL because NFL stands for not for long. It's a dangerous sport. But you also want rings. You want to stack them. Will Bashard Smith get minutes? Hope so. He's a rookie. He's going to be a slow ramp up, especially if they want him to be a third down back because he was a receiver in college, converted to running back his last year, and doesn't have a lot of pass protection experience. Well, yeah, I read that. Chris Jones, he might price himself out of KC. Well, Chris Jones is under contract for the next couple of years. He's got some massive cap hits. But I think after the next couple of years, he's probably done, close to done. I mean, Chris Jones is what, 31? Chris Jones' age, he's 31. He just turned 31 July 3rd. And if you look up Chris Jones' contract, I want to look at his cap hits real quick. Yeah, next year, in 2026, his cap hit is $44.8 million. Woo! $44.8 million. In 2027, he'll be 33. It's only $19 million in dead cap compared to $48 next year. $71 million in dead money this year. You're not getting rid of him. After 2027, you could potentially eat that. It's $19 million in dead money. 28 base. But I don't know. That's a tough one because a lot of people were surprised they signed Chris Jones to that massive contract when they did. But he's got a couple years left for sure, I would say. He's still playing at a very high level. Yeah, Rice is still pretty young. The money's great, but if you're smart, you can use that cash to make more. Yeah, and if you want rings, this is the team to stick with. I think Tyreek really wants to come back for that reason. Hey, if Tyreek ever comes back after his contract with Miami, whether it's a 1-year flyer or just to sign a 1-year or a 1-day deal to retire a Chief, I think he comes back in some capacity. The reality with the Tyreek Hill situation is if they didn't trade him, would you have the defense that you had if you would have kept him? I don't know. You got all those draft picks from him, and that's when you got all those guys, the Fab Five. So McDuffie, you had Josh Williams, Najee, Jalen Watson, and Brian Cook. Then you also got George Karlaftis. Sky didn't really pan out, but you have Pacheco. A lot of those, you got 5 picks for Tyreek. 5. That's crazy. You didn't hit with all of them, but a few of them for sure. Are there still ghosts of Justin Tucker banging 60-yard field goals over the crossbar? No more, sadly, because of all the off-the-field issues Justin Tucker dealt with the massage parlor stuff. He got released from the Ravens, suspended for 10 games. We kind of had to... We don't do the Justin Tucker jokes anymore because it became real. Basically, what we joked about time and time again became real. Sort of. Loosely, allegedly. It wasn't quite that as what he was accused of at the massage parlors, but it was serious enough that I was like, yeah, we got to retire the Justin Tucker jokes. Gateway, what's up, man? It's been a while since I've been in the chat. What's your record prediction for the Chiefs this year? Well, so good to see you, man. All good. I know a lot of people check out during the offseason, or maybe just some people checked out after the Chiefs lost in the Super Bowl. Whatever your reasons are, all good. Glad to see you. Record prediction, I'm probably going with like 13, 14 wins. I don't think I've gone like week by week and done a win or loss. We probably will do that this month. That'd be kind of fun. But almost every single year, the Chiefs have won almost 12 to 14 games with Mahomes. One year, I think they won 11, which was a couple years ago. I think they probably win about 12 to 13 games. It sounds pretty realistic. You were one play here or there last year from only winning 12 to 13 games. What funny vids do you have? I don't have really any funny vids. I mean, the Justin Tucker one was the best one. Yeah, all the stuff's old because I haven't made those videos in a while. We got Ride the D. That's like all we got these days. Since Andy Reid has been there, they haven't had a losing record, but they've won more Super Bowls. Yeah. Exactly. One more than even Tomlin. That's pretty nuts. Got made fun of all the time for liking the Chiefs, being called bandwagon and all that. Watched the Chiefs for years now. Anything to say to all the haters? I mean, anything to say? I don't know. It's just the popular thing to do when a team wins all the time. They're going to do whatever they can to discredit greatness. So I would say, who cares? Let them talk. The Chiefs have stacked up the rings. They've had the success. They will use whatever they can to discredit the Chiefs. So right now it's, they got whooped by the Eagles. Well, the reality is, yeah, they did. It doesn't discredit what they've done in recent years either. It doesn't discredit the fact that they're in an active dynasty. So I say screw the haters. Who cares? They're going to blame something. They're going to blame the refs. They're going to cry, whine, moan, complain. I see a lot of Raiders fans on Twitter. Anti-Mahomes, pro-Brady, Raiders fans. It's because their franchise has done nothing since they were swimming around before they were born. I won't go any more graphic than that. But it's just weird what you see online on social media now with the Chiefs and all the success. When did you become a Chiefs fan? So I was born in Kansas City. My parents were Chiefs fans. So I was just born into a Chiefs fan family. I still live in the Kansas City area. 2014 is the only season the Chiefs missed the playoffs with a 9-7 record. Yeah, that was the 2014. Wasn't that the no touchdown season to receivers? Which is pretty crazy. If the Raiders and Carr hadn't won Week 11, Carr's first win, Chiefs would have made the playoffs that year too. Yeah, they're very close. Very close to making it. Even with no touchdowns being caught by a wide receiver. Dwayne Bowe was very close, fumbled at the goal line. Kelsey scooped it. Rob Parker is addicting. The dude is funny AF. Rob Parker? Heck yeah, dude. Hey, man, I watched Todd Blackledge sling the rock around. I mean, my prime years of my childhood was actually Trent Green. So those were kind of fun years. I mean, not always in the playoffs, but they were pretty fun years. Buck and Bob in the house. Oh, shoot. What's up, man? 7 months. Glad to see some sun recently. Yeah, I've been out in the sun. Recently. Also, found your old rap stuff tonight, and dude, you're good. I was honestly blown away. Hey, thanks, Fanny. I haven't made music in a while. But hey, we're going to be on Buck and Bob's podcast on Thursday night. I don't know when that actually goes live, but we'll be chatting. So I'm excited to chat with you guys. Thanks again for the 7 months, brothers. Favorite Chiefs rookie this year? Ooh. I mean, probably Noel Williams. But I don't know that he's going to play a lot this year in the secondary. I just like that pick because of you have a lot of corners on the last year of their deals. And he's a ball hawk, a dog, durable, not afraid to hit, plays well against the run. Not your most athletic guy from a speed perspective, but super fast back pedal, ball hawk, always around the ball, pass breakups, INTs. I really like that one a lot, but Josh Simmons would be the one that, if healthy, that's my favorite one. Because then you have a franchise left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time since Eric Fisher. Mahomes has been in 5 Super Bowls. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but all 5 Super Bowls. He's had a different starting left tackle. We need a franchise left tackle so bad, and if Josh Simmons could be that, it would just be the most ideal thing. And I don't have insane expectations of him this year. If he starts over Jalen Moore, great. If Jalen Moore starts over him, that's fine too. Just best 5 out, roll him out there, protect the $500 million quarterback, and let's freaking go, dude. End of the day, people who just add bandwagons are idiots. Yeah, it's all good, man. You did a top 10 QB list. Here's your updated version. You got Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Hurts, Stafford, Daniels, Mayfield, Herbert, Goff. I think I have most of those guys in the top 10 too. Yeah, I might have all of those guys in the same top 10. A little bit different order. I flipped. I had Stafford at 5. I think I had Herbert at 6. Then Hurts at 7. And some people say, why would you put Herbert over Hurts? Herbert reminds me kind of Matt Stafford when he was with the Lions. You know how good he is. But then when he was eventually traded to the Rams, he wins the Super Bowl. And you're like, see? I saw that. That's who I saw. That's what I see. Herbert's biggest knock is he's had 2 playoff games, 2 playoff losses, played really bad in his last playoff game. 4 interceptions. I think it was 4, and he only threw 3 all year or something like that. But I just see, I don't know, I'm going a little bit off the eye test with it. I see how good he is. Mahomes himself said, Herbert, there's only certain quarterbacks in the NFL that can make the throws Herbert does. But again, if you got any of these quarterbacks in the top 10, you're kind of splitting hairs to some degree. Just to some degree. I don't have Hurts in the top 10, but the rest of the list is understandable. Yeah, there's some people that don't have Hurts in the top 10 at all. I think it's a little aggressive to have him in the top 3. I just don't agree. I really think it's Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Lamar. Those are your 4 elite guys, and nobody else belongs there. Again, that's just my opinion. That's why I have Hurts in the top 10, but he's at 7. He's not in that upper echelon of guys. Chiefs reunion. Tyreek Hill signed 2-year, $30 million. I wish. I'm going to Twitter right now. Please. Oh. So I got a message real quick from Brett Coleman, messaging him back. It's who we be best in 2025. I'm doing a interesting piece with some content creators. I sent a message to 10 or so content creators in the NFL space saying, hey, can you give me your top 20 NFL players list heading into the 2025 NFL season? And we've got Perna, we've got Grossi, Brett Coleman's about to send his, Football Analysis, Marcus Whitman. I've got everybody's top 20 lists. We're going to average them out and see how it stacks up from a content creator perspective. Patrick Mahomes with the 5, an Eagles fan, told me to hang myself because I was a Chiefs fan. Yeah, you're going to get some out-of-pocket stuff for sure on social media. I've had death threats from multiple fan bases. Eagles fans for sure, Bills fans, Bengals fans, Raiders fans. People are going to say out-of-pocket stuff on social media. It's not cool. It's not appropriate to say stuff like that. But it is the reality of social media. So don't let it get you down. Don't hang your head on that. No pun intended with what they said. Good God, I'm going to dig my own grave here if I keep talking. But when it comes to that stuff, just try your best to set it aside. It will affect you because it's like, God, dude, why would you say that? But just try to move on and realize that they're probably not going to say that to your face. Bunch of cowards on social media, man. What fan base pisses you off the most? Yours are the Raiders. I think the biggest history rivalry over the years is definitely the Raiders. Fans that piss me off the most? I don't know if there's any fan base in particular that I just see them and they just instantly make me mad. Because I think you can have cool fans in pretty much every fan base. I'm friends with a couple Raiders creators. Perna is a really cool Broncos fan. I don't know that I know any Chargers creators. Do they even have any fans? But you can also get work. Like, I'm friends with a couple Bengals fans, Bengals content creators, but there's also a couple in that space that are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, dude. So I think it really depends on the person more than the fan base. You've definitely gotten better at ignoring hate comments. Yeah, Twitter is crazy. There's all kinds of stuff on there. Just sift it out. Try not to respond. And go about your day. Go about your day. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go about my night and get ready for bed. But thanks so much for hanging out. It's been about an hour and a half. So thanks for all the comments, the questions, super chats, dono bombs. We'll be back with another long form video tomorrow. One on Friday as well. And then training camps at the end of the month. It's in a few weeks. So it's going to start ramping up here. But let's freaking go, man. So I appreciate y'all. Thanks again for the mods holding it down. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. Marcus, thank you for the membership.